Year 9 and welcome to Science. We're going to be looking today at how you're going to choose between single science and combined science. And we've got the entire science group here, all your science teachers, to take you through this. Now, there are two different things that you need to know. Science is split into two options. You have combined science and you have single science. Combined science has 4 different exams over 20 topics, and that features 15 experiments. Single science is very, very similar to that. It has 6 exams over 20 topics and 15 experiments. The only difference that you can see between these two things is the amount of exams. But there are bigger differences too. Combined science is easier in regards to how much content there is than the single science. You'll be learning more on that. So the combined science has 4 exams: biology, chemistry, physics, and 1 paper that combines all of those subjects. While the single science has 2 exams for biology, 2 exams for chemistry, and 2 exams for physics. Overall, these are your subjects. There are 20 different subjects in total, and you can have a look at those later as other members of the department will take you through different sections. For example, Ms. Purvis.
Hi, so I'm going to be talking to you about biology. So in biology there's 8 chapters that we look at. The first one being your genes, then looking at keeping healthy, feeding ecosystems, looking at the human body, the immune system. In particular, the difference I'm going to talk to you today is about the single and the combined. So with single, we look into more detail at the immune system, in particular monoclonal antibodies. So in combined, you'd only just touch on what a pathogen is and how antigens are related to the pathogen and how antibodies work with this. But then in single, we're going into way more detail and looking at the structure of how we make monoclonal antibodies and the different uses.
So with chemistry, chemistry is a study of matter and how all those substances can interact with each other and how they can be separated. So one of the concepts that we look at in chemistry that we particularly focus on is that we look at various separation techniques, for example. So the differences between the single science for chemistry and also for combined is that we look at more detail, particularly we look at the mole. And we'll also be looking at things like titrations and not just how to carry them out, but also how to work out how the concentration of various things.
Okay, so when it comes to physics, what is physics first? So one of the things we look at in physics is how matter works in the universe and how energy is transferred throughout the universe. And we also try and predict how things are going to work as well. So we are going to look at topics like looking at gravitational potential energy, looking at a lot of the Suva equations and so on. Can you, in terms of what is the difference between the combined and the separate? So what OCR says is that the combined science content contains the same specific statements as found in separate sciences. Therefore, they are identical. The level and demand in combined is similar. However, there's going to be a lot more when we start to study separates. In terms of the gradings, you probably receive 2 grades for the combined, where you receive separate grades for the single sciences. Okay.
Right. So if we think about the why, so this is not what so we're making sure that this is in context and we're learning about why do we do science, is because currently you're really lucky to live in a time when science is kind of at the forefront of all things. So we think about climate change, we think about global pandemic, all of those are linked to science, which means we are able to understand the world around us, whether we plan to then use that in our further studies or not.
The one thing that's the same across the 2 combined and single science is that there are 15 experiments. This is the same across the 2 because obviously practicals are really important. One, because it's like real world evidence for the things that you learn and it helps solidify that in your brain. And also because it's how these people, how scientists made these discoveries that you're learning about, as well as the ones that scientists continue to discover today and into the future.
Okay, so careers. As you know, science encompasses three separate subjects. Today I'm going to be talking about the careers in biology. So biology offers a wide range of opportunities and career paths for students and for graduates and postgraduates. So biological sciences is a study of life and therefore is one of the broadest subjects that you can study, ranging from the molecular study of life processes to studying communities and life communities of plants and animals. So working as a biologist, first of all, as I've said before, you can follow several different directions, and this can include working for museums, working in research, agriculture, working in public sectors, and working in biomedical science. Here I have a list of the different types of degrees and different career paths that you can follow if you study biology, including forensic science, nutrition, marine biology, zoology, pharmacology, and ecology. The general qualification and requirements for studying those subjects include 6 GCSEs from grading from grade 9 to grade 6, including maths, English and science, and 3 A-levels including biology.
If you have any questions with any of this that we've gone through, please speak to your science teacher and they'll be sure to help. Or just come down to us and ask. Science is a wonderful thing to get involved in, and it's something that we all love, and we hope that you come to love it too. Please pick either combined science or preferably single science.